Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest and exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Today we are talking about gaskets, and you've no doubt seen cut gaskets like this. You've also seen the chemical gaskets as well. And Eric, you're with Permatex. I know that today things have shifted more toward those chemical gaskets, and why is that?
Years ago, engine technologies and basically machining technologies and the mating surfaces were very inconsistent. So you needed a thicker cut gasket to really physically fill that space. Modern engines, modern technology has made the mating surfaces so precise and finished so well that even the OEs now are trending much more towards chemical gaskets or our silicones, which basically just seal the surfaces together rather than trying to physically fill a gap.
In the old days, you had the option, you had the red blue or the blue goo, and they stunk to high heaven, and it's not really that way anymore, is it?
No, those old silicones you're referring to are acetoxy silicones. Permatex made those for years and very reliable, but the base was acetic acid. And that acetic acid and that smell you're getting is actually the acid off-gassing. And while it's off-gassing, while it's curing, it's corrosive and could actually foul sensors. So for at least the past 20 years, Permatex has been making primarily oxime-based silicones, which retain some of the curing properties, which is rapid curing of the acetoxy formulas, but are sensor safe and don't carry with them that smell.
Well, I see you brought some of your lines with you. There's 3 different lines distinctly here, and starting over here with the black. Tell me what that's all about.
Our black silicones are our most flexible formulas. They also carry with them the highest degree of oil resistance as well, so excellent for like oil pans, valve covers, and the like. And if you think about just a traditional rubbery, stretchy silicone, that's what the blacks are for. What makes that really applicable in today's market is we've got a lot of dissimilar metals, sometimes even composite oil pans mating up to metal surfaces.
So they heat and cool differently, or they expand differently, so that's why you need that flexibility.
Exactly. With that flexible silicone, you're allowing that torsional or lateral movement of the parts with the thermal cycling, and the silicone just moves with it and maintains a nice tight seal.
And I see you have a few different levels of the black as well.
Yeah, we've tried to simplify our line to go with good, better, best, and our Ultra series is our good. And back in the acetoxy days, when we introduced Ultra, it was the premium formula. Now it's actually our entry-level formula. We've laddered up over the years. We've introduced the Right Stuff 90-minute black, which carries the exact same performance with it as the Ultra Black, except a 90-minute return to service time. So you can bolt things up and within 90 minutes be driving the car down the road.
That's pretty amazing.
And then for professional mechanics who need even quicker than that, we have the Right Stuff. Now that stuff is so thick that it can't actually be squeezed with a hand out of the tube. It has to be delivered through our unique power can that you see there. And that's for if you're turning bays in a shop and you need to button something up and get it out to the customer, the Right Stuff is it. As a matter of fact, I've seen top alcohol funny car teams apply that in the pits and then make 265-mile-an-hour quarter-mile passes.
Amazing stuff. Now let's talk about the gray quickly. That's a little bit different from the black.
Gray is engineered for high vibration and rigid torque load. So if we've talked about the flexibility, this is rigid and strong. So anywhere you've got smaller, higher revving engines, a higher vibration, and you want a really strong hold-in-place formula, that's going to be your gray.
Engine temperatures can get super high, and that is where the red comes in.
You know, we market it based on high temperature, but you really want to think technically it's engineered for thermal cycling, hot and cold, that rapid. So it's a perfect blend of both flexibility and rigidity. You know, exhaust manifolds and headers and turbos. Anywhere you're getting rapid heating and cooling and thermal cycling, the reds absolutely are going to be what holds you there. And then the premium formula is the Optimum Red, which can get up to 750 degrees. And actually, we have the Optimum Black, the Optimum Gray, and the Optimum Red. Those are the best silicones available on the market today from a performance standpoint. However, you do sacrifice a little bit of the rapid cure time. You have to wait about that 8 hours or so before you return to service. But for the discerning car guy who really cares about his car, the optimums are really where you want to be.
Well, you can bet Permatex has the right chemical gasket to seal your deal. Check them out at permatex.com. And if you want to learn how to use the products, permatextraining.com. We will return with more Motorhead Garage and more cool products right after this, so do not go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. And by NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
You are rumbling along with Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. You know, UTVs are great right off the showroom floor, but a lot of folks find they want to make modifications right away. And JC, you're with Thumper Fab. What are some things folks want to do as soon as they get their vehicle?
Man, a lot. So we make products that cover from the front to the back, top to bottom. So we really allow you to accessorize the ride, give you strength, style, and get you to where you want to go on the trail.
Strength and style, that's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Let's start from the front and go to the rear here. Tell me what sets Thumper Fab's bumpers apart from some of the others that are out there.
So that's strength and that style. And two things. One, we make all of our bumpers winch ready. So we can be able to put a winch on the front as well as a winch on the rear. Rather than winch out 300 yards, you can pull yourself back with a rear winch mounted bumper. So we build our bumper to be able to support that kind of load, be able to get that vehicle out, get you back home to where you need to be. And then on the style, we give that customization, not a custom price. So we have color accent panels on all of our bumpers, as well as the doors and the roofs and the rock sliders to really match your ride.
How many colors are we talking about?
We keep some of the powder coat that is actually used by the OEMs from Polaris. We use the exact same powder that they use. So you know it's going to match your suspension or your vehicle right on. We keep those in stock. But the sky's the limit. You want to paint the ride purple, we can paint it purple.
And how adaptable are your bumpers to the different brands of winches out there?
They will fit all ATV and UTV size winches. We've made it to adapt to what you already have, but they make great pairings with some of the winches that we carry as well.
Moving on back, and we'll talk about the doors.
So the doors give two things. They give the protection. You know, we don't want you to get whacked by a limb as you're going through the trail and having fun with the family. So the door provides great protection, but also we give that customization that you can have and really match your ride and make it your own. So we have some color accent panels that can go along with the door as well.
What I really love about the parts I see from you guys, they're not just generic one-size-fits-all that goes from one vehicle to the next. They really seem to fit the style of each vehicle.
No, they're designed to bolt onto that vehicle and look good with that vehicle. So we start with a completely showroom stock vehicle and we 3D scan the entire vehicle. That gives us all the precision mount points for bumpers, for roofs, for our rock rails, and make sure that we can use the existing mount points on the vehicle, but also when we start designing the bumper, we can really match the aesthetics and that style to the vehicle itself and really just complement the vehicle.
One thing I noticed about the General behind me there, the rock sliders, they really fit the style of that vehicle, and they're super cool.
So the General is an aggressive vehicle. I mean, it's a sport vehicle, utility concept, so the rock sliders are made to be abused. They'll take the punishment of the trail and the obstacles, but just also look good doing it.
Another thing that looks really cool here, your roof racks. This is the integrated roof and the rack above it too, right?
It is. Everything above the roof line here is all aluminum. So we start with a lightweight design to be able to keep the center of gravity of the vehicle low, but also allow you to have an integrated roof rack to carry some more gear out there. When you load up the family and go trail riding, you've got 6 people in the vehicle, not a whole lot of room for anything else. So we give you the roof rack to be able to throw your extra gear up there, go ride all day, have fun with the family. That gives us lights all the way around the vehicle as well. So in the evening, you can ride a little later and come back home.
You're not just about lights too, you can provide some tunes while we're out on the trail.
We've partnered with Rockford Fosgate. The entire audio enclosure is sealed from the elements. It gives us our Rockford Fosgate speakers, amps, even down to the speaker wires to really make sure that they can withstand the ruggedness of the trail.
There's a lot of electronics up there. How hard is that to hook up on my UTV?
Easy. So it actually comes fully assembled. All the audio, lighting, switching is all internal, all sealed from the elements, arrives to your front door. Just set the roof on the vehicle. It bolts through the existing holes that are already in the roll cage. So no drilling, no cutting required. Run one wire down to the battery, plug it in, you're ready to go.
All your metal parts, where do the materials come from?
all from the U.S. It's all manufactured and made right here in Texas, in-house.
How many different vehicles does Thumper Fab cover?
So we cover a lot of your major OEMs, from Polaris to Can-Am, from Honda. As I said, we take and 3D scan a vehicle as it comes off the showroom floor. So we're starting to scan more and more every day. So we don't have your vehicle just yet. We're working to scan and get it thumped out as well too.
Now let's talk about warranty. I know you make quality products. How do you stand behind them?
The bumpers, the strength, we're absolutely confident in everything that we build. They all have a lifetime structural warranty on them. The audio roofs and all the electronic components are a 2-year warranty, which is significant.
Well, Thumper Fab is the epitome of strength and style. You can check them out at thumperfab.com. And you can check us out when we return to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, right after these messages.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
You are riding along with Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Whether you got a flat tire on your ATV or on the old minivan cruising down the highway, it can be a bad deal. It can ruin your day and it can ruin your fun. It can be really unsafe. But, Brandon, you invented TireJect with your father, and you have solved our problems. You're going to get us out of trouble.
That's right. Well, we have 2 products. We have our Offroad that's meant for your ATVs, lawnmowers, golf carts, that sort of thing, and we have our automotive tire sealant. And Offroad, it's what we call 5-in-1, where you can protect the tread area, the sidewall, bead leaks, slow leaks, and even sometimes the older tires, they'll get the dry rot, little cracks. As long as it's minor and a low speed, we can actually get a little bit more life out of your tire with TireJect Offroad. And the automotive, this is our 2-in-1 product, and we can both seal your bead leaks and any kind of tread punctures you'll get in the tread of the tire.
It's amazing. Now, you can do the sidewall on an ATV tire even?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just because our sealant is very different than the other products out there. It's a lot thinner. And because it's thinner, it's easier to install. And you can also get up and flow around the entire tire, hitting your sidewalls, hitting your bead leaks. And that's what makes it very different than the other products out there.
The one thing that everybody wants to know when they're putting something in their tires is this product safe for my tires?
Absolutely. All the materials we use, they're not non-corrosive, non-hazardous. Even for our automotive, it's also TPMS safe. There's no issues getting it through the TPMS valve stem.
Now, what's the installation like? Am I going to have to take this off the bead, or what do we have to do?
No, that's another great part. It's super easy to do. Anyone can do it in probably less than 5 minutes. The pouch comes with this little adapter, which is just a cap with a hose on it. And you're taking out the valve core from inside of your valve stem with the included tool. And you slide that hose on over and you squeeze in the contents of the pouch inside of the tire, putting the core back in, airing it up, and drive away, and you're good to go. I brought my air nailer with me, and we actually used the air nailer to nail the board to the tire, ripped it out, and gave it a little bit of rotation. It sealed it right up, and from there you could just ride on it like normal. We did the same demo on the automotive tire. We punctured it in there with an air nailer, ripped it out, and sealed it up, no problem.
We've seen how to actually install TireJect, but what makes it so effective inside the tire?
Yeah, so TireJect is a really thin liquid that we talked about, and it actually is made with a liquid rubber of super strong aramid fibers and recycled rubber tire particles. And so what will happen is you have a leak or a puncture in that tire, on contact with the sealant, the fiber particles and the rubber particles, they will wedge into the hole, and then that liquid rubber is actually what will bond and seal permanently on the tire.
Well, TireJect really works, and it's an affordable insurance policy against a flat tire. Check them out at TireJect.com. You know, when the start-stop technology first became popular, I found it kind of annoying, Tom. You'd be in a rental car and you'd get to a stoplight, the car would shut off, and then when you got off the brake, it would shudder and everything, and you think something's wrong with the vehicle. But that has been improved, and this is one of the ways they're doing it.
Yeah, a lot of cars now have a second battery. It'll be called an auxiliary battery, or some owners' manuals will call it enhanced battery. Enhanced battery actually means you have 2 batteries, and it can really vary vehicle to vehicle. The manufacturer may use it on some models and not on others. It's really important to know about, because you think you have a dead battery, you're getting error codes and trouble codes, and so you replace the big battery, but you don't know you have this second battery that's causing the problem you haven't replaced. And then also, if you're working on the vehicle, if you're installing a new radio or fog lights or something, and you think you've disconnected the battery and this guy's still hooked up in parallel, and you might get shocked, you might blow fuses or damage while you're installing or something else on the car.
It's a mystery whether you have it or not, potentially, and it's also a mystery where it might be located in the vehicle.
So the owner's manual is the key for figuring out if you have it and where it's located. If you're looking at batteries in the rockauto.com catalog, If you see auxiliary battery, a little small one, and the other ones are big, then that's probably what you have is 2 batteries.
Well, rockauto.com has all the parts your car will ever need, and they even have some of the parts you didn't even know you had. We've got more great products for your vehicle just around the corner, so do not go anywhere. Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, returns right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Liberation Automation, American-made, veteran-owned, performance-inspired. And by Tribotex, make your engine last longer.
If you were with us last week, you got to meet our friends from The Last Coat, and this week we're going to show you their flagship product, which is called The Last Coat, and TLC is another name for it here. So Nick, why is it your most popular product?
I would say it's multi-usable on different surfaces, so that is why people seem to love our claim to fame with that.
You're talking interior and exterior?
Yes.
What does it do to the surfaces on the interior?
It cleans and protects. Biggest thing is if we have a matte surface, if we were to use a dressing or a leather conditioner or something like that, it's going to artificially gloss the surface, might even add reflection off the dash onto the glass, as well as attract dust and other things that we're trying to clean the vehicle. We don't want those things stuck in there. So using The Last Coat prevents those types of things from happening. We just get a clean, protected look.
And because it's multi-surface, you don't need to worry about it accidentally gets on the windshield.
Yeah, they can pretty much touch whatever is in the car. LCD screen, don't have to worry about that stuff.
Now let's talk about the outside here. Why not just use a wax like we've done for years and years and years?
Well, waxes can be very complicated and a little bit frustrating to use. I'm sure we've all been there, applied wax to a vehicle, hazes up, and it is just very difficult to remove. We're sweating, we're struggling, as well as if we get it up into these cracks and crevices, it builds up white, and we certainly don't want that on a black vehicle. If we have black plastic like these here, we would need to tape these off if we're applying wax because it's going to get stuck into the pores and create a white stain in the plastic. The great thing about The Last Coat, we can touch all these surfaces and not do any type of damage. We will only protect the surface.
How easy is it to apply?
So we prefer to spray it right onto a microfiber rag. We certainly want you to conserve the product that you have. A little goes a long way. So I will normally do about not much onto a microfiber, and then we literally hashtag it.
Hashtag it.
Back and forth. I like to do vertical and horizontal movements. We will flip to our dry side of the towel. We'll make a little bit of a buff here. Then we're going to take our second towel just to ensure that we have all product removal. And bam, we have a glossy, slick, very lustrous surface.
That's great. How long is it going to stay like this?
6 months.
But I've read online that a lot of folks like to apply it more than that. How come?
We certainly can add more gloss and depth, believe it or not, to the paint by adding more layers, as well as we get more hydrophobic ability and we get a harder coating on the surface. We can also wash the vehicle, and while it's still wet before we dry it, we actually spray TLC onto the surface and take our pressure washer or a high stream of hose water and we rinse TLC off and then dry the vehicle. And again, we've now applied another layer of TLC to the vehicle at that point.
Well, you can see why TLC is a fan favorite. Go check it out. Get a bottle for yourself. Find it at thelastcoat.com/motorhead. Tribotex is a great product that works. If you just inject it into the engine, you don't have to go through anything extra. But Pasha, if you want to take it to the next level and make Tribotex work at its best, there are a few best practices. Now, number one, you guys have told me, clean the engine. Make sure it's a clean surface to begin with.
Yes, you want to make sure that these surfaces are clean. You can use engine flush before oil change, or you can use our new superior artisan bio-based cleaner called PR1. It is environmentally friendly, it is non-toxic, and third, it is a super concentrate, so a small amount goes really long way.
And the second thing, no other additives. You don't want to put other stuff in your engine while you're using Tribotex.
Yes, all additive companies, we all fight against common enemy, friction and status quo of large oil companies that produce mediocre product. But it is very difficult to know how different additives will interact, so we recommend you to stay with the same technology.
Another one your lead engineer Brian told me about is actually mix Tribotex with the oil before you put the oil into the vehicle, right?
Depends on the application. You can inject it where it's easy to inject, or you can mix it with the oil and pour the oil through the regular route.
You won't notice immediate results necessarily with Tribotex. Sometimes it takes a little while, so you need some patience.
You're right. Patience is the virtue in this case, because we are not immediate solid lubricant. We are film former. We build the film over time. It takes about 10 motor hours to build the film that gives you dramatically low friction and all the benefits that goes together with using the product. So when you wait a little, it pays off royally.
But in today's society, I want immediate results. So if I don't see it working immediately, I'm just going to add more and more and more. But that's a big no-no. You don't want to overdo it when it comes to Tribotex.
You will hear difference in noise in the very first 15 minutes when the valve train starts to quiet down. But the biggest difference is from the coating piston cylinder group. The very slow splash lubrication and rings remove most of the lubricant. That's where the most difference for the long-term effect and the fuel consumption happens, and the power. That's what you want to wait for. Lower amount over longer time works better than more at once.
You can learn all about the tips and tricks on how to make your car perform better and how to protect it in the long run on Tribotex.com. Thanks for joining us. Just remember that Jeff is the guy to email if you have something you'd like to see on our show, a product you want to showcase to the world. Email him at jeff@masterstv.com. We're going to do this again next week, and we hope you join us. In the meantime, catch us on YouTube or our Facebook page. We'll see you next time on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. So long.